system in Nairobi, and we are asking Kenyans who live outside who have experience to come in. We are having the Lamu port. You require a whole rail all the way to South Sudan and South Ethiopia, a new city in Isiolo, a new airport in Lamu and Isiolo, pipeline, water sewer system in Lamu. That is how informal we have approached it. But as I said, if the numbers are there, then there is a necessity of a ministry for Kenyans outside where we can then plot and have a strategy together. Next 5 questions.
All right, we're going to go back, way back. That guy in a white t-shirt, that lady there, number 2, please move quickly to the mic. Let me see. That guy in a cap. And then the guy behind him.
My name is Awali Kwanduru, and my question is about you as a former KFF chairman. What is your insight on the status of Kenyan football?
Okay. My name is John McCoy, for those who don't know me, and on behalf of Honorable Mzungu. Anyway, I have maybe 2 questions. I have a take on one question you talked of. You alluded to chapter 12 of the Constitution, which actually deals with the devolution of funds to the counties. And right now it's a big crisis in Kenya. We'll have wanted to hear how you are going to handle that take, whether it's going to be based on the taxes only, or it's going to be based on the grants, or it's going to be based on what the exchequer is going to get. And what you're thinking about how it's going to influence about the control that the national government is going to have on the devolved government from the counties. And I know you might be able to answer that because you're more qualified, you have been in all those ministries. The other thing, second question. I think there's a bubble in Kenya, as much as we have said there might not be a bubble in Kenya. The inflation rates in Kenya, if you look at them, as much as we pretend that we are talking about having TET2 and having all these cities, if we don't really watch, we might be saying that we are developing, but at the expense of just bringing people who are, Kenya might be just another constituency of some foreigners who have invested there. In the real sense, we are talking that Kenyans are, we are coming up economical, but in the sense, we just a market of a certain constituency in another country. Because look at the inflation and the Ugali situation in Kenya. Let us not really cheat ourselves that we have really become such a middle-class country so much that we are so proud of. It's a situation that I want to even address. The third and last question, I know time cannot allow me. No. The other issue is this. What is your take on some of these issues? As I watched yesterday, the KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, has landed in Kenya. And that's what they announced that they will be importing potatoes from Egypt, so they don't even use the potatoes from Molo. What is this really the development we are talking about in Kenya? These are some of the issues.
Hi, my question is, what is your position with this ongoing effort to try and change the constitution based on women and the marginalized groups? What's your take on that?
Yeah. I have one question about what are the politicians doing, you included. We know what happened in 2007, 2008. Most of the clandestine groups were used. How are you going to curb these? They are the people who we hear from here sometimes. If you want to stand for justice, you are intimidated by the same groups. Either they will come at night, and we have had people who have been even killed from their homes. And even when you want to develop, we fear even developing because you go and get a rolling of stones. Before you drop it where you want to drop it, those guys are there demanding some tax.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for giving me this opportunity. Mheshimiwa Kennedy, Let me say I'm very, very thankful to meet you today here and all Kenyans. And I just want to ask you a small question. Having stated who you are, not very many Kenyans have met you. My name is Ferdinand Wood. Now the question would very open up so that we can get to know you and what you stand for. Is that so? In Kenya, we have Honorable Ruto Rani, Honorable Kenyatta Rani, Honorable Mudavadi Rani, Honorable Now, my question is very simple and very clear. If you decide not to run, and you have come before us, you have interacted with these people so many times, would you kindly characterize this individual so you can enable us? Choose one of the candidates who can run Kenya as you would.
Mheshimiwa, I came here on a listening trip, and I've told you exactly what I'm not doing and what I'm planning to do. And I've even said, when I make an official announcement, I'll still come back here because I will be able to discuss freely, show you my manifesto, tell you my timelines and how I intend to do it. So the issue of not running does not arise. I know the man with the cape had asked for a political party. And I'm accompanied here by a friend of mine who went with me in all the cities. His name is Patrick. Patrick, just stand up. That's Patrick. Patrick is the chairman of Kenya National Congress, which is a political party which I'm beginning to get aligned to. I hope that answers you conclusively. Number two, I have passion for football. That's why I was chairman. I played football. I was a school goalkeeper. I played at Premier League. I feel sad in what is happening today. I've always said, if you want to play football, play it on the pitch, not in the boardrooms. The problem with Kenyan football is that it's being played in boardrooms. If we want to improve football in Kenya, you have to go back to youth centers in every county. That's the only way we can develop football. That's the only way we can make a success. Problem with us, we want to recruit finished products to the national team. They can't last more than a year or two before they retire. They can't even do well because they don't have the time. So I'm hoping that the next elections, which will be held in a couple of weeks, will actually take football back to the pitch. My friends, you can call me whatever name you want to call me. I have always said, those who mind do not matter, and those who matter do not mind. The Section 209 and 210 are the actual sections in the Constitution on county government after allocation of money. County government will be allocated 15%. That is what they will share of the national ordinary revenues, which means grants and borrowings are not part of it. And they are very, very clear as to what county government can do and what national government can do. But they go further and actually state an imposition of who can impose what taxes, which means the national government knows what it can impose and what county government can impose. They have also been allocated services which they are supposed to deal with. So those things are very clear. What we need is a strong Financial Management Act that will actually sort out the problem. The powers are very well defined. In terms of the bubble, I was speaking about the bubble on property. I was not speaking about the bubble of the country. And I think this we have to be very clear about. On property, I stand my ground. On inflation, I agree with it. It's high. And that hasn't stopped people from buying properties, right? Because the inflation there is different from the inflation here. You are the guys buying the property, right? The issue of food prices and the inflation are different. Both are. There are some that are internal, some are external. The cost of oil is external. We depend on oil. Therefore, every time the prices of oil goes up, prices of food prices will also shoot up. The second one is internal. Every time the government decides to overspend, means it's going to borrow from the domestic market and the inflation will go up. That is the position we are in. We have a trillion budget. The ordinary revenues is 700 billion, so we have a shortfall of 300, and we are borrowing from the domestic market, which means the interest rates have to go up because government has appetite for wanting to borrow. You have to have a government that will live within its own means. That's the only way we can control budgets. And if we have to borrow, it has to be purely on developmental issues that will help the majority of our country. Mzee asked me about, I know you wanted to speak about Chinkororo, Mungiki, but you didn't know how to put it. But I know you didn't know how to put it. What will count for Kenya is very simple. We have to allow institutions to take root. This is what the new constitution is all about. We have reforms in police. For the first time, we have an inspector general in charge of both the AP and the police force. They've been competing to the detriment of Kenyans. That will help. If we have root in institutions, if those illegal gangs know that when they go to court they will be jailed within 2 days, you'll never hear an illegal gang, whether it's Baghdad or whoever. So that is how we can deal with, by actually building our institutions. We actually had these things working. They were run down in the last 30 years, and we've never recovered. The police form requires serious reforms, because that's the only way they can take care of these illegal groups, take care of our issues. On KFC, I think under WTO we have to allow competition. I'm not saying we kill local industries, but we must use that competition to build our own industries. We must use that competition.